All right, welcome to Not Suitable for Adults. It's a podcast, so every week we do the same old thing, Natalie. We do the same old thing. We just do TV shows and movies, TV shows and movies, TV shows and movies. Am I right?
Wow, you're coming at this hard. You're going hard today.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, over and over and over. I mean, there was that one time you talked about that horn.
Yeah.
But
That horn.
yeah, but other than that, it's TV.
Because that's the only thing kids care about, right?
Screen time.
Hey, why don't we do something different this week?
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay, go.
Yes. Today, for your listening enjoyment, I decided to, it came upon me in an epiphany as I was drifting off to sleep that there is another thing that Cora has me do with her that I question as an adult, and that is reading children's books to her.
Sure.
And I don't question it as like
should
a literary...
Should I be reading to my child?
Yes. Absolutely, 100%. Everybody should be reading to their children whenever they ask, I think. Yeah. And even sometimes if they don't ask.
For sure.
But Cora loves to pick up a book and bring it over, and we'll read, a couple every now and again. And one of the ones that she picks out the most often is also one that I have a lot of questions about.
Sure. Yeah.
And you all know it.
We all know it.
Everybody knows it. It is a classic. It is Love You Forever by Robert Munsch. Is that how you say that name?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Munsch. So just a couple of stats, because you guys know I love my stats. It was listed 4th on the 2001 Publishers Weekly all-time best-selling children's books list for paperbacks at 6,970,000 copies, not including the 1 million something hardcover copies.
Wow.
So everybody likes the paperback version.
Sure.
Paperback writer. No?
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Just by itself, paperback didn't ring that bell for me.
Sorry, Beatles. I hope I don't have to pay them like $2 or something for saying those two words. In 2001, Maria Shriver wrote in the O magazine, the Oprah magazine. The Oprah magazine.
Is it O, the Oprah magazine?
No colon, comma. Comma.
As if it just realized.
The Oprah magazine. Yes. Okay. She says, I have yet to read this book without crying. It says so much about the circle of life, youth, parenting, and our responsibility for our parents as we grow older. The message is so simple yet so profound. Love You Forever is a great gift for anyone with a child or even for your own parents.
Mm-hmm.
And also based on a 2007 online poll, the National Education Association listed the book as one of its teachers' top 100 books for children.
Okay.
So.
It was also in that very funny episode of Friends.
I mean, I was going to mention that.
Oh, it felt like you were winding down the fun facts about it. I'm sorry. Pretend I didn't say it. Now you say it.
It was also prominently featured in an episode of Friends.
What? Really? Was it?
Yes. For Emma's first birthday, they all brought gifts. Joey didn't have a gift, so he does a dramatic reading.
So good.
Of Love You Forever that gets everyone teary-eyed and mopey. Not mopey.
No. Just choked up.
Choked up. Sorry. Yes. And then later, Phoebe wants to one-up him and tries a dramatic reading of her own that does not go well.
Yeah, after her failed guitar
Emma, your name poses a dilemma. Okay, if you guys are Friends fans like we are, laugh with us. If you're not, continue listening because we're
Sorry.
getting off of it. For me, I am among one of the parents that tends to think this book is actually a bit creepy.
Okay.
It seems like the message is beautiful.
Right, yeah.
The message is wonderful. Okay, if you guys don't know the book, come on. But you can, I believe, listen to it. Like there's a illustrated storytelling of it on YouTube, I believe. So if you don't know it, why don't you go ahead, press that pause button, go over, and it's pretty quick.
Or join the 7 million people who have bought a copy of this book and get yourself a copy.
Right.
Because it is a good,
it's a classic.
It's a classic. It's one that parents should have.
Yes. Everybody that has had children, I feel like, has been gifted this book at some point in time. We follow the life of a boy. He is first a baby. His mom brings him home and rocks him and sings him a song. I'll love you forever. I'll like you for always. As long as I'm living, my baby you'll be.
Sure. Then
he gets to be 2 years old.
Oh, rambunctious.
He's very rambunctious. He puts things in the toilet, and she is just like, you're driving me insane. But, okay. Cue the creepy. Cue the creepy. At night, when he's asleep, she opens up the door, crawls across the room, peeks over to make sure he's good and asleep, and then picks him up and sings the song. Beautiful.
Well,
the song is super cute because we all know as parents that no matter how bad the day is with your kids, you're going to love them forever and like them for always, and they're always going to be your baby.
Yes.
No matter what they do in their lives.
Always be my baby.
Yeah, that's right.
Now I have to pay that.
Now we've got a 9-year-old. He is messy. He's he's a boy, you guys.
Yuck.
Boys are just gross. And she just feels like, oh, he's stressing me out. But at nighttime, when he's really good and asleep, she crawls across his floor. I'm imagining, okay. Did you guys ever see that? Was that the M. Night Shyamalan?
M. Night Shyamalan?
Yes. They did that one with the grandma.
Oh, yeah.
And she's like crawling around.
Yeah, in the crawl space underneath the house.
That's what I imagine.
Was it called Granny? Something like that?
No, I think it was called like the
Visit.
Oh.
The Visit?
The Visit, maybe. Yes. Anyway. Good. Nice, good, creepy movie.
Oh, sure. It's got a creepy, crawly grandma.
Yeah. I enjoy most of M. Night Shyamalan Ding Dongs.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I enjoy most of his things. Most of them. We won't get into the ones I don't enjoy.
Fair enough.
And she picks him up as he's 9 years old. Sure. Why not? He's 9. He's still a baby.
Yeah.
9-year-old, still a baby. Picks him up, rocks him, sings him that song. Okay. I will speed through this. Now he's a teenager. And he's got crazy friends, crazy music, crazy clothes.
He's leaving slices of pizza all over the living room.
And she's like, you're driving me insane. But at night,
she creeps across the floor.
And you guys, you have to look at the pictures to truly understand that she's already on her hands and knees in the hallway.
Yeah, she's crawling.
Opening his door.
Crawling down the hallway.
She comes in. Okay, sorry. I had to stop in the middle of a thought because we heard running water, and it was actually just Cora washing her face.
Good job, Cora.
So, good work. I love it after they turn 4. They become much more independent. So, little boy, teenager, she crawls across the room, picks him up.
Yeah, and rocks him while he's sleeping.
Yes. So he's grown up now. He buys his own house across town. It says across town. But But sometimes on dark nights, the mother gets into her car and drives across town. And the picture is of a blue sedan driving in a dimly lit street with a ladder strapped on top of it. If all of the lights in her son's house are out, she opens his bedroom window, crawls across the floor, looks up over the side of his bed, and if he's really asleep, she will pick him up and rock him and sing the song. And in the picture is this elderly lady holding this big old man.
Sure.
And he's asleep. Mm-hmm. She's rocking him, and there is a window next to the bed with what looks like a ladder that she has climbed up to what I can assume is his second-story bedroom window. Then he's a little bit older. He has a family of his own. His mother calls him and says, "Son, I need to see you. I'm pretty sick." He comes over and she tries to sing the song.
Yeah.
She's old and frail. She can't get through it. And instead, he picks her up.
That's very sweet
very
moment.
touching. He picks her up. She's little and old and frail, and he rocks her and sings her the song, "I'll love you forever. I'll like you for always. As long as I'm living, my mommy you'll be."
Oh.
Very sweet
Super
sentiment.
Sweet.
Then he gets home, and we're presuming that she has passed at this point. She gets home and he stands for a little while just thinking at the top of the steps. And then he goes into his newborn daughter's room, picks her up, rocks her, and sings the song to her.
And the circle continues.
Yes, exactly. It's a absolutely beautiful depiction of how we care for our children like our parents cared for us. And some people don't have that, right? Some people weren't raised with awesome parents. And this kind of shows that you can start all over again. No matter what point in the cycle you are, you can start it. So I do think that that is very beautiful. I don't want to get super blue, but I did want to mention that Munch wrote this book because he would sing this song to the 2 children that he lost with his wife. He lost 2 babies. They were stillborn, and he would sing that in their memory. And then it just turned into a book around the song. So that sentiment is very loving and very touching. I think also
we can hold these feelings and tension together.
Please understand that I am not diminishing the sentiment behind the book.
Yeah.
That is not what I'm trying to do.
Right.
What I would like to talk about is healthy boundaries.
It's a little, yes.
It's a little much, especially with the way that it's depicted with the illustrations.
Yeah.
Just the words enough kind of get you thinking, but the illustrations kind of just bring that, a little bit of that, I hate to say creepiness because I've already said it, but a little bit of the mom creep to life. There is a writer. His name is Topher Payne, and he takes questionable children's books and rewrites the ends of them.
Oh, and like fixes them? Makes them worse.
Fix.
He makes them worse.
No, it's called Topher Fixed It. And he's an Atlanta-based playwright. And he has a project to provide alternate endings of classic children's books that may not bring about the most healthy ideas. So in this book, a lot of people think boundaries is the thing. He says like I have said, it's a beautiful story. When the mother's actions are taken metaphorically, it expresses a parent's boundless love for their child and the desire to nurture and offer affection through all stages.
Okay, so his point is like, if you just read it,
yeah,
it's a constant. The wording is always the same because
yes.
it's a constant feeling throughout the life of the child. But then when the illustrations are put with it, it just turns.
Or just when it's taken literally,
More literally.
that she crawls across his bedroom floor, which I don't know how that's metaphoric.
Yeah.
Or is that the right word? How it's metaphoric?
Or
how it's a metaphor. Anyway, so what he wrote, he's offering it for a free download with a suggested donation to the Atlanta Artist Relief Fund. In his alternate ending, the adult son installs bars
why?
on his window to keep his boundary oblivious mom out. Sorry. It's okay.
Mom, you can visit whenever you want, but you have to come to the front door while I'm awake.
When she shows up, rather than let her do the whole unsolicited lullaby routine, he says, I love you forever. I like you for always. But what's going on here isn't working for me.
Oh, no.
And we've been watching a lot of Schitt's Creek, and in my brain, that's David's voice. What's going on here isn't working for me.
Yeah.
His thoughts are sometimes we don't tell somebody we love that we need a little bit of space and that we need some healthy boundaries because we're trying not to hurt somebody's feelings.
Sure.
And then the son apologizes about the window bars and expresses his need for space. His mom, they have a dialogue and they come to this, kind of conclusion where they're both getting what they need from each other. This is the illustration. And I'm showing Rich that it's the man sitting on his bed looking at his window with bars, and his mom is at the top of the ladder looking in with a hurt, awestruck look on her face.
That's funny.
Because there are bars.
You know what's weird about that? So, I know... So I understand what he's going for there, and I think that it's a funny illustration. What's interesting to me is that he went with prison bars on the window and not like the normal bars you might put on a window for security.
Right.
He went with... this guy replaced his window with prison bars.
Yeah. So anyway, I just wanted to speak on this book because it came to my brain as something that I read to my kid often. And a lot of times I kind of skim it a little bit. What am I saying? Paraphrase. I kind of paraphrase it as I'm reading through it because there are some things that I'm just like, okay, I don't want to say that word over and over and over again because there are several times that happens.
Yeah.
But the story and the sentiment behind this book is beautiful. We should love our children unendingly, no matter what they do, for as long as we live. I mean, that's the way parents should be with their children.
Yeah.
Also, on the other hand, we also need to set some good boundaries as adults with our parents as well. And I think that is lost a little bit in this book. But it's a beautiful book, beautiful sentiment, a little bit...
Well, and that's understandable.
Much.
I didn't know that the origin of this book was children that he lost.
Yes. And
he'll always feel the same, it's different, but he'll always feel the same way about those children. So that gives me also more perspective on the book too.
So grab this book. It's a classic.
Yes.
It's a good book.
It's a recommend.
Just know that, it doesn't have the best representation of adults and their parents and healthy boundaries being set.
Yeah.
So anyway, I did want to mention, I'm so sorry, I forgot to say that after Munch and his wife had 2 stillborn children, they eventually became adoptive parents to 3 children.
Oh, good for them.
Yes. So, amazing people.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's great.
Yes.
That's a good story. Happy ending.
Yeah. So I'm not downplaying this book. I'm just wanting to highlight the parts of it that I'm just like
side thing about this book.
Yeah, exactly. As a grown-up reading this book, I'm catching this more than a child reading this book would.
Okay. I love it.
Yeah.
How about an activity?
Oh, do you have one?
I have an activity for us.
Okay.
It's not really an activity so much as a list of things I'm going to read. Mm-hmm. So this is from a website called Brightside, which looks like a lot of those sort of listicle type things where it's like 20 things you didn't know about blah, 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 or 15
kind of like a BuzzFeed thing?
Yeah, kind of. This one is 20 cartoon facts that took us aback.
Okay.
And it looks like I didn't read every single one yet because I wanted to be surprised with you. But looking through, it looks like it's little details in animated movies that, or maybe in movies and shows that were just little hidden details that kind of make maybe that moment more intense, or it's just a really cool attention to detail kind of thing.
Okay.
The first one on the list, in the movie Brave, one of the arrows that Meredith shoots, I guess near the beginning, like because that's her thing, is like archery.
Yes.
It actually cuts her cheek. So like as it's going out, there's a little like cut that comes up on her cheek, which is one of those things we talk about Pixar a lot, and that's that kind of thing that like they're always paying little tiny attention to little tiny details in their movies. So it's kind of interesting. It's not the most amazing thing.
No, I love it.
Things. In Boss Baby, when Tim gets a younger brother, I didn't notice this. When Tim gets a younger brother, the number on his shirt changes from 1 to 2, which reflects he's not his parents' priority anymore. So before the baby shows up, he's wearing this little like sort of sportsy
like
shirt
a jersey
with
type
the number 1 on it. And when he walks out in the hall, when he's like, my special song, he walks out in the hallway. He's wearing the same shirt, but it's got a 2 on it.
Oh man!
Yeah.
Yikes.
Yeah. Number 3. And The Lion King, the animated Lion King, Zazu says that Scar would make a nice throw rug. Scar appears as a throw rug in Hercules in 1997, in the animated movie Hercules.
Interesting. Oh, so it's animated. They have a lion throw rug and they made it Scar.
They made it Scar.
So funny.
Yeah. There he is. You can see it. I don't know if you can see the picture.
I see it.
We haven't watched Hercules in a while. That would be a fun one to watch.
It was never one of my favorites, but I also didn't. It wasn't on our normal like rotation.
Yeah. In Toy Story, the pattern of the carpet in Sid's house is the same as the floor in The Shining.
Interesting. Shining. Now that's a good movie.
Totally suitable for kids. Going back to The Lion King, Simba eats a bug with his pinky up.
Yes.
Which indicates his manners because he's royal.
Oh.
I don't know if that's true or not, or if he just looked at his pinky. In The Little Mermaid, when Ariel saves Eric, he sees her backlit, which makes her appear, her hair appear dark. Later, Ursula makes herself dark-haired just the way Eric saw Ariel.
Ew.
Oh, yeah. So when Ursula becomes like the... Interesting. I'm looking at it's got pictures on it. Do you see it? Do you see the picture? That's weird. I don't know. I wonder if that's on purpose, but... In Anastasia, which is one that I have maybe only watched one time.
I don't even remember it. Sorry, Anastasia fans.
There's a scene where she's dancing in the abandoned palace. She's the only one who has her reflection on the floor because she's the only real person in the room.
Oh, creepy.
Yeah. In Shrek the Third. Can we watch this one?
I don't know.
I feel like after Shrek 2, we kind of were like, okay.
Yeah.
Fiona's secret door makes her father's statue kiss a horse's butt. So she has to push the horse to the side.
Yes.
And it's her dad who's the frog kissing a horse butt. Got him. I'm going to skip to ones that we care about.
Okay.
So this one's about Ratatouille. We don't really care about Ratatouille.
Oh, sorry, Ratatouille fans.
Sorry. Yeah, I'm really sorry. Everyone loves that movie.
Everyone loves Ratatouille. We watched it and I was just like, eh.
In Up. The color palette of the movie reflect Carl's mood and attitude. So as he becomes more like playful and happy again, the color palette in the movie gets warmer.
I just did Up last week, didn't
Up.
I?
Yeah.
Love Up.
In Aladdin, it says this was the moment. It has a clip below it. Jasmine completely made sure Prince Ali was Aladdin. That's dumb. Everyone saw that happen. That's part of the... Okay.
Flipping the apple?
Yeah, he does the apple on his elbow.
Yeah, duh.
And then she does the little quiz, and then she does the thing. Okay, article, you just made me mad. That's just something that happens in the movie. That's not a detail that you noticed. I'm getting mad at this article.
Okay, you need to simmer down or move on to your thing.
Sid from Toy Story.
Ooh, creep.
Oh, interesting. Grew up to be the garbage man who appears in Toy Story 3.
No!
It's the same shirt.
That's awesome.
That's really cool. In Finding Dory, the bag with the shrimp is the only one that's completely clean since he's a skunk cleaner and eats bacteria.
Oh, little scientific detail.
Yeah. Zootopia is obsessed with Frozen. In Zootopia, you can spot 2 baby elephants wearing the costumes Anna and Elsa wear from Frozen.
Oh.
That's funny. Let's see. Entangled.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Entangled, the lantern that is launched by Rapunzel's parents, is the one that reaches her. So that's the one she catches in the boat.
I had not noticed that one. They aren't all the same lantern?
It doesn't look like it. It looks like everyone kind of makes their own paper lantern.
And theirs has
has like a sun crest on it, and that's the one that she catches.
Love it.
In Beauty and the Beast, Belle agreed to be locked up for the rest of her life in Beast Castle to save her father, but didn't agree to marry Gaston for that time. What? Oh, it's saying she would rather be locked up in a castle with a beast than marry Gaston.
Well, she would rather save her father than marry Gaston, is the point of that, I believe.
Let's see. That's Hercules. We don't really... In Frozen, Elsa's castle changes color with her emotions. Mm-hmm. Yes. That's another thing that just happens that we see happen in the movie. In Sing, Mike the Mouse is eaten at the end by the bear who had been chasing him through the whole movie.
You don't see him eaten, but you see the bear pop up on the back of the car, and then Mike is not in the final picture with everyone else. Right,
which is what they're showing. That's interesting.
Yeah.
That's kind of a weird...
Yeah.
dark turn to take.
Right. I think it's not so obvious, but I have seen this movie several times, and I have noticed that Mike is not in that final picture that they take when they're reopening the theater.
Interesting. Well, I think we can...
Mike was a little bit of a...
Yeah. A little bit of a he was a jerk.
There you go. That's a good word for it. But man, Seth MacFarlane, love that man.
I think we can all agree this has been one of the funniest bits that we've ever done.
I mean, when you do the middle parts,
it's always it's always so good.
It's always a hoot.
All right, let's take a little break. We'll be right back.
I am Leighton.
And I am Christy.
And this is Cheers to Parenting,
a couple's guide to parenthood. On this bi-monthly podcast, we'll pull a topic from our parenting tip jar and then discuss,
using parenting skills we've learned over the years of parenting our 3 children,
which combined gives us 60 plus years experience with the good, bad, and ugly of parenthood.
Perfect kids?
Nope.
Expert parenting?
Absolutely not. But it's worked for us. Give us a listen at anchor.fm/cheers to parenting pod. Advice from birth
until you get them off your payroll.
And we're back.
And we're back.
Hey, how about I do something about a TV show now instead of what I just did?
Yeah.
This is actually a show that Cora has watched a little bit of. It's not one that she goes back to a lot because she's a creature of habit and still just mainly watches Ryan. Mm-hmm. But it is one that we've watched several episodes of together because she goes through a phase every now and then because she's got a couple of pieces of clothing that have like Supergirl and Batgirl and stuff on them and Wonder Woman.
Yes.
She'll go through a phase periodically where she's like, I want to see those people. And so we went out and we found one for her to watch, and that is Superhero Girls, which appears on Netflix.
Mm-hmm. Trying times for Netflix at this point in time. Not undeserved.
Sure. That's a whole other thing.
That's a whole other thing. Just know that we will not be having a Netflix subscription for very much longer. So we're going to have to start finding our kids' shows on different platforms.
Yeah. Good times.
Into that.
But you can find this show on Netflix. It is called Superhero Girls, and it follows several of the female heroes of the DC universe as if they were high school students. And so
I think, did she watch this a little bit while we were at your parents' house over
yeah, she may have
4th of July? Because I did see some of these, and I was very interested in this.
It's actually pretty good. Here's the premise. I've got actually the Wikipedia page pulled up.
Look at you.
Look at me. The show focuses on 6 female teenage superheroes with secret identities. So who we have here is Barbara Gordon, who is Batgirl. We've got Kara Danvers, which is Supergirl. A hero called Zatanna. A new, I don't know if she's new or not. I don't know if they created her for this show, but it's a young female Green Lantern. And then another hero I've never heard of called Bumblebee, who is basically, she's basically the Wasp from Marvel. And
what I love about all these girls is they all have completely different teenage girl personalities.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes.
And so those are the main, so the very first episode is like the first day at school, and it's, we start with like Barbara Gordon in the car with her dad, who is Jim Gordon, who's the head of police from Gotham. And what's funny about him is he's basically in this version of the world. They have moved from Gotham to Metropolis for whatever reason. And Jim Gordon is basically the dad from Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs.
Just very closed.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, what's the word? I'm trying to think of a word here. And like he doesn't really relate to his daughter almost at all. Mm-hmm. She's like, I was this close to finding my team. And he's like, your team? Because he doesn't know she's Batgirl. Mm-hmm. And she's like, oh, I mean, like, you know, my group of friends. He goes, your clique. Your clique.
Yes, Dad, my clique.
And so as she's walking into school, on this first day of school at Metropolis High School, she sees these other 4 girls getting ready to come inside, and they all sort of have a weird thing that happens with them. So she sees Kara, who is Supergirl, getting out of her adopted parents' car, and she's kind of angsty and mad at them, and she slams the door and it dents the door. And she's like, and scratches her head. And then she sees she sees Bumblebee get off the bus, and she's got a big box full of like high tech stuff because she's got like a super suit that she puts on to shrink down. And she's like, and then Zatanna is basically a real life magician. Like she does magic. And so she gets out of her dad's limo because they're very posh and wealthy, and she's running in, and her dad goes, "Darling, you left your backpack." He gets out the top of the limo and he's holding it out, and then Barbara looks over at Zatanna and she has it in her hand. She goes, "Thanks, Dad," and she runs inside. She's like she's noting all these things away. And then she hears Green Lantern talking about with Hal Jordan, who is also a Green Lantern, who also apparently goes to this high school, about the Green Lantern Corps. She overhears them talking about
so they aren't super good at their secret identities.
No, they haven't learned how to secret identity yet, it seems like. I mean, they're not dressed as themselves, but they do all have, like, something that looks like, for instance, Kara Danvers has a belt buckle on that is the Superman crest. It doesn't have the S, but it's like it's that shape. So they all have a little thing that sort of that tells you how they're related. And Barbara is wearing like a purple Batman hoodie. And so that way you can keep track of them.
Or is she wearing a Batgirl hoodie?
Well, I guess it's probably a Batgirl hoodie, but Bat person.
Oh, okay.
A Bat One hoodie.
Yes.
And so at lunch she starts a food fight because she figures
the classic way to find out if your group
friends
of friends
might be
have
superheroes.
Yeah. Have superpowers.
Yeah. So she starts a food fight and she like hits one of them with potatoes and then like hides, and then all the four ones with superpowers think each other did something, and she's just kind of there, and then she's like, food fight, and everyone in the cafeteria gets in on it, and so they get detention together.
Food fights are disgusting.
Yeah, they're real bad.
Okay. End of thought.
Yeah, for sure.
They are not as fun as they
good.
look on TV. They're just gross.
Yes.
All right, continue.
So those five get detention together, and so they're in detention, and they're kind of all arguing with each other. And while they're sitting there, another girl walks in, and she's cloaked with a hood on. The very first thing that actually happens in this first episode is you see sort of a newsreel that's like, apparently in Metropolis, having Superman around isn't enough. Like, we still have so much trouble happening. And now there's a new superhero, and we see Wonder Woman jumping around, and she's got her sword, and she's like taking care of this big monster. And they're like, who is this Wonder Woman? Because they haven't named her yet, and presumably that's how everyone in the DC universe gets their name on Earth. It's like, who is this Superman? Who is this Wonder Woman?
Who is this Bat?
Who is this man that is Bat?
It's a girl. It's a girl Bat. It's a Bat girl.
Yeah. So who is this Wonder Woman? And so this new girl walks in, and they're like, can't believe you weren't in school today. And so basically she got picked up by a truancy officer and brought to school. Mm-hmm. And Wonder Woman just went along with it. And she takes off her like cloak, and she is wearing full on Wonder Woman outfit. She doesn't even look like she belongs at school. She looks like a superhero. Mm-hmm. And so presumably she's supposed to also be a teenager. So now there's the 6 of them. And so they all figure out what each other can do, and they decide through a longer conversation that they're going to be a super team in Metropolis. And from then on, the show is about 2 things. It's about Wonder Woman teaching the rest of these girls, and sort of with Barbara as where the audience is kind of Barbara because she doesn't have powers. She's just bright. Like that's
which one's? Oh, the Batgirl.
Yeah, Batgirl.
Okay.
We're kind
in my brain, I was trying to think of what superhero actually doesn't have superpowers. And it's Batman.
The Bat People.
The Bat People. Is she mopey like Batman is?
No, she's the brightest, bubbliest character on the show.
Well, that makes me happy.
The mopey one is Supergirl.
Oh, funny.
Yeah. She's kind of punk rock.
Yeah. So she's kind of hardcore.
Yeah.
She's always in the limelight, right? This is her town. This is Metropolis. And is it her brother or her cousin that
Supergirl
is Superman?
Is traditionally the cousin of Superman.
Okay. So she tries to help people because I remember seeing this episode. She tries to help people, but it's always credited back to him.
Right. It always feels, she's always in Superman's shadow.
Right.
And so the rest of this, the purpose of the show is Wonder Woman teaching all these other girls how to be
heroes.
Mm-hmm. And these other girls teaching Wonder Woman how to be like a modern teenage girl.
That's fun.
And so it's really fun. So here are some facts about the show. So one thing is, Wonder Woman is voiced by Grey Griffin.
Love her.
Who is everywhere and, is the best. Lauren Faust is the person who developed the show. So Superhero Girls actually started in 2015, and it was like a web series. It was on YouTube and on the DC website, and they did a bunch of shorts that was mainly about some of these female superheroes, but it was really kind of about. Now you make me cough.
Sorry.
It was mainly about these girls, but it was in the context of a superhero high school where all the superheroes went. So like Robin was there and
so Hogwarts.
And basically
Hogwarts for superheroes.
The Flash and all the Green Lanterns, and everyone's just a teenager at this high school. That's the way it was up until 2018, and then they kind of canceled it. And then in 2019,
well, I think that's a little too similar to like Professor X's place, right? So the X-Men all going to school together. I feel like it's been done.
To be fair, it was pretty, for what it was pretty successful.
Okay.
Like it was a 3-year web series. Which, it's a web series. It's short. So, it stuck around for a decent amount of time. But in 2019, they decided to develop it into an actual show for Cartoon Network. And they went to Lauren Faust, and Lauren Faust is the, one of the people behind, I think this is right. Let me double check that this is true. I believe she's one of the people who worked on Powerpuff Girls and basically all the shows that look like that. This show looks a lot like Powerpuff Girls.
Gotcha. It's got that aesthetic.
Right. So it says Lauren Faust. Okay, this is perfect. Lauren Faust, who had previously worked on Powerpuff Girls, a show called Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends, which I'm not familiar with, and My Little Pony Friendship is Magic, which is also a thing I was going to say is this show is very much super like My Little Pony Friendship is Magic, because it's another one where you've got this one girl who knows a lot about magic and superpowers and such, but not much about being friends with people. And then this group of friends who have abilities, but that's not really what their life is about, and kind of coming together like that. It's very My Little Pony-ish.
Yeah.
And the other sort of interesting thing that I just came across, I'm trying to find out who this person voices, but Tara Strong, who is the voice of Barbara, of Batgirl, is also the voice of Twilight Sparkle from My Little Pony. Oh. And also, apparently, I'm trying to find who he is, but one of the sort of like fun facts that it lists on the IMDb, or excuse me, on the Wikipedia, is that John Delancey, who is Q from Star Trek. Mm-hmm. He was one of the big bads in My Little Pony as well, and apparently he voices someone in this show, but normally when I hear his voice, it jumps right out at me, and I haven't heard it yet, so let me see if I can find... Anyway, I can't find who he voices, but according to Wikipedia, he is in there as well.
Okay.
Which is cool. I always like, I don't know why, his voice is one of those voices that whenever I hear him in a show,
You just know.
well, I just know him, but also for some reason it just kind of tickles me. Like, I just like that he's there. Because I like that
All
character
is
from
right
Star
in the
Trek
world
so much. Yeah.
When Tom Delancey is around.
John Delancey.
You told me Tom.
That's John. I'm pretty sure I said John all the whole time. Yeah.
Maybe.
Okay. Anyway.
My bad.
So that is Superhero Girls. It's very, it's a really cute show. It has, it's another one of those sort of, female empowering shows, which is good. I think an interesting thing, like I demonstrated this earlier, I am familiar with and know that Zatanna is a DC superhero. Superheroine.
Is.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry. Is it called DC Superhero Girls Super Shorts?
Oh no, that
Okay.
was the web version.
Well,
so was
he's
he on that?
Mr. Freeze in those.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Maybe I was looking at that version at that moment. What was I saying? I lost my train of thought.
My bad. Sorry again.
Do you remember what I was saying?
Nope. I wasn't listening. Because I was looking up John Delancey.
It's a great podcast that we do. Oh, I was just saying, I'm not super familiar with the superheroine Zatanna, and this is a show that will show you, like, look, there are more female heroes out there than maybe you realize. And that's a good thing.
Yes.
Anyway, this has been yet another, the 40th, actually, episode
Dang.
of Not Suitable for Adults. And as always, we welcome your feedback. We are on Twitter at NotForAdultsCast, and we are on Gmail via notforadultscast@gmail.com. And we'd love to hear from you if you have thoughts on maybe Love You For Always or Love You Forever. Or if you have thoughts on the Superhero Girls or anything else that we've talked about today, or if you have your own recommendations for what we should talk about. We would love to hear from you about that. And if you are on iTunes, please make sure you leave us a rating. You can also leave a rating and review on podchaser.com. If your particular pod app doesn't give that capability, you can do that over at podchaser.com, and that's a great way for us to get feedback from you as well. And that's what I got. Listen, we're going to go out and just do us today. You should go out and just do you today. Right?
Yes.
What was so funny about that?
Thing. I was not expecting that to come.
It's about you do you is what I'm saying.
Yes,
right?
absolutely.
You have to be empowered, right?
Uh-huh.
Because you're the boss.
Okay, so watch whatever you want.
All right, bye.
Bye.